Hello everybody, welcome to the NPA Week 6. Today I'm joined by Cherry.
Hi.
Who wasn't able to turn on the camera, unfortunately. So we're going to have a beautiful substitute instead of his beautiful face. And today we have only 2 matches, unfortunately, as last week. And we're going to have Aurora Rayquaza against Mirai and Polar Bear against Carmine. And today we have big news about the NPA, and Samurais already qualified with 3 weeks of advance to playoffs. They are currently undefeated with a score of 5 wins and 1 tie, and Cruisers are still undefeated. They haven't secured a place in the playoffs though, and Blizzards take their first loss in this NPA season with a score of 3 wins, 1 loss, and 2 ties. But today we are not going to have any matches by these 3 teams, and let's jump into the first 2 players. Aurora Rayquaza from Puppies against Mirai from Detectives. I'm going to let you introduce these 2 players.
Yeah, thank you very much. So we'll have a pretty important match for deciding the week's results, since Detective and Puppies are currently 3 and 4.
Yeah.
So if Aurora Rayquaza manages to wins Puppies the tie, and puts them in.
No, actually, if Aurora Rayquaza wins, Puppies win the week.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That is what I was saying. So like, if Puppies win, that'll be a massive win for them in the playoff race. Whereas Detective have to hold on for dear life to not let the Puppies escape from them, just keeping them close. Losing this match will be very detrimental for their hope of playoffs. This match, like as we said, is 4 and 3 for the Puppies, and so I cannot stress enough how this single match can decide the entire season of both franchises, since it could very well put the Puppies in a dominant spot for the playoff race, or have the Detectives fall very behind to the playoff spots, whereas a tie would give a little bit of breathing air for the Detectives. Mirai has to win here, and what an exciting match is gonna be, regardless of how important this is, because we'll have Aurora Rayquaza, who previous to the Utrecht special was actually the ranked 1 player in Europe, despite actually playing only 1 tournament in Europe.
Yeah.
Whereas Mirai recently got top 16 in a very breakout performance at the Bochum Regional, followed by top 64 in London Open, which puts him at like 120 CPs, if I remember correctly.
130, I think. Top 64 should be
Okay,
50.
so either way, halfway through is worth invite.
Yeah.
So this match is gonna be really interesting, really nerve-wracking for both teams. Let's see who actually manages to take this huge W for his team.
Yeah, so let's jump into the match. Unfortunately, there is a thing that happened, and the graphics bugged, okay? But okay, there's a thing that happened. This is just an image, because we have lost the recording of the team preview of Game 1 and half of turn 1 of game 1. So we're going to have this image just to analyze the team preview, and then we're going to start halfway through turn 1. In game 1, we can see that Aurora Equeza brought the peculiar Alex Soto's team in this season, and in Series 1 actually, also with the Hard Trick Room. And Mirai brought Dondozo with Glimora, as we are often seeing right now, with an actually very interesting mode with Iron Bundle, Great Tusk, and Dragonite. What do you think of the matchup?
Okay, so first of all, I'm kind of surprised seeing Taran actually bring an Archicrum that is very alive of him. But if you think about it, it makes a lot of sense since we saw Carlos actually getting the top 16 in Bochum with the Palafin Among Us team, which notably struggles against these Archicrum teams. So it may seem like an attempted counter team from Taran. Let's see if actually Carlos switching up his team selection actually brings it to a failed attempt at counter team, since I'm not really sure about the matchup. Technically, the Psyspam core still seems to work very well into this. Let's see how Carlos manages to deal with that. I'll probably expect Ice Spinner from Dragonite and pressure from Great Tusk. This is gonna be very interesting. I think Carlos will be living at home above Glimora and the bundle. Let's see.
Okay, so let's jump into halfway through turn 1, as I just announced.
And we saw the.
So we can see.
I imagine going for a final gambit.
Yeah, what happened? Taran, so Aurora Equeza, told me what happened. There are Indeedee and Annihilate in lead against Dondozo and Dragonite. Dondozo protected, and Annihilate, as you can see, just went for Final Gambit onto the Dragonite slot. So that's a huge turn for Taran, setting up the Trick Room for free, not taking any damage on his Trick Room setter and Redirect.
And also, knocking out the Dragonite means Carlos won't be able to use Ice Spinner and getting rid of the Psychic Terrain. So, is this actually gonna be one hell of a Trick Room to stall from Mirai? Actually, having to deal with the fact that he already lost one of his Pokemon straight out in turn 1 without actually doing anything in return, and allowing Terran to send in his abuser alongside setting up the Trick Room.
And
we see Tatsugiri entering straight off the bat. Like, Carlos probably doesn't want Terran to see what is last Pokemon, since he's sent in Tatsugiri right off the bat. But let's see how he manages to fare against Clear Smog, Torkoal. It probably is Terrestrial Dondozo, but even if he does that to avoid the Clear Smog, he's still in risk of just getting eruption.
Yeah, and we see the Indeedee switching out. No Terra.
Both players know their Terra, so like we see the Clear Smog just coming out. There's no Terrestrial, so Earthquake comes out, does a minimal amount of damage, and Terran really looks like in a very dominant position right now, since the Psychic is going to do one ton of damage to the Dondozo.
Yeah, we might expect maybe a one-hit knockout.
Yeah, it probably is going to be. Dondozo is pretty known for its physical bulk. However, its special defense is pretty lackluster. So without the boost, it's not very good at deflecting special attacks. And the Hatrin, especially in psychic terrain, is one hell of a powerhouse.
Yeah, and we see the Ndidi coming out and taking the place of Torkoal, probably predicting this protect and wanting to go for a helping hand psychic in this turn, confirming this kill and not wanting the Dondozo to maybe stall a turn more. Or as we see, Aurora Rayquaza is going for double Trick Room on, I think, what is the third turn of Trick Room.
Yeah, it's the third turn.
That's pretty unusual, but yeah, resets the Trick Room turns. And
yeah, this is
go
pretty
ahead.
interesting.
Yeah, he wants to
maybe he will try to do that the following turn, since now he just has a free psychic attack onto the Dondozo. Dondozo, we see, was left unprotected.
Yeah, just protected, so it doesn't go for the double. But here, yeah, Aurora Rayquaza, very impressive play. He wants to reset the Trick Room turns right now to have 4 full turns of damage, since he had to invest the first 2 to give the Dondozo a clear smog and clearing the stats. So yeah, right now probably Aurora Rayquaza has a free psychic and helping hand, as we were saying the last turn. That's what he's going for. Probably we're seeing a protect to stall the first turn of Trick Room right now. No protect coming out.
No, there's no protect. Psychic is gonna come out and he's gonna take the clean knockout.
Yeah, very clean.
And also falls short, and so only Tatsugiri and another Pokemon, which I imagine is gonna be a great task, left behind for Carlos.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to matter right now who the last Pokemon is. And it is the great task.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great task. I'm gonna say very impressive play by Taran, going for the double Trick Room on turn 3 instead of turn 4, because you'll say, yeah, sure, he's going to KO the Dondozo, but then Great Task will enter just as Trick Room is about to expire. And yeah, sure, you could double Trick Room there, but Great Task could be able to read into the double Trick Room and attack. So Taran says, well, you know what? I'm not risking any mind game. I'll just take some damage right now to be sure that I have a longer Trick Room by the time Dondozo dies. Very impressive.
Yeah, and here we see the Terra Steel on the Tatsugiri, and Protect. Great Task is going to want to stall maybe the Trick Room with triple Protect. I think that's what he needs to take. And double Dazzling Gleam is not going to pick the KO on Tatsugiri. But yeah, we cannot stress enough how Taran identified a turn in which there weren't kills threatened by Dondozo, and so resetting the Trick Room turns. And here we see the damage difference, same move by the Hatterene and the Ndidi, and very different damage here coming out from these two Pokemons. And Muddy Water actually dropped the Hatterene accuracy, so we could see maybe a win condition identified by Mirai, and
yeah,
I don't think that's what we're gonna see.
To cross it just has to cross his fingers at this point.
Yeah,
and that's really holding on for dear life with the help of the Terra Steel, and we see the Dazzling Gleam missing, but misses the wrong target.
Yeah.
Fortunate, I'm sure. Taran literally, Taran's heart literally stopped in this moment.
Yeah, but yeah, exactly.
This little lapse between the move and the animation, because you know it has to miss something, but luckily this time it just misses the Tatsugiri and not important target.
Yeah, and we have a communication error. I think Taran informed me, so I'm just gonna read the messages with Taran. Let's see. So Taran told me that there was a DC at the end of G1, but we agreed I will take the win as it was guaranteed. Okay, so Taran takes game 1, agreed by the two players. DC that didn't influence the
Great display of
end of the game.
sportsmanship by Carlos, because he he knows he's losing this game. There's still a trick room turn left. Tatsugiri doesn't have any way of protecting himself, and Turco will just win.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no way for Carlos to win. He knows that, and acknowledges this match was just done, and gives Taran the win. So we see Taran leading 1-0 with a pretty impressive display in actually balancing out how he plays his trick room turns. Something matchup that looked like just pretty standard. I'll just set that trick room, do damages, then maybe I'll have to win some mind games. Instead, he recognizes he has a clear way to avoid even losing to any mind games. Uses a very unconventional combo of moves in a turn and brings home the game. Very impressive.
Yeah, and as Alex points out in the chat, we have to wonder if the Dondozo has the substitute, which is a very great option in this matchup to avoid the clear smog. He would have to use that in a very cautious way, though, since there is the Annihilate chosen probably once again by Taran as lead, and substitute.
Either way, this team is at least in the 6 modes the same Neil used to top cut the Vancouver regional, and it's probably so. And if it is the same thing, it's probably Terra Grass without substitute. So technically, a very bad set. If we have to acknowledge the matchup into Trick Room.
Yeah, and so we can expect maybe Wave Crush, Terra Blast, and Earthquake, as we have already seen. And we have already seen the Protect. So yeah, that should be the set chosen by Mirai on this Dondozo. Let's see how he intends to adjust. Since we have seen, I'm not sure, I got distracted. I think Taran led with Ndidi and Hatterene this time.
I haven't seen. Let's see. Either way, I think Carlos has to bring the same set of mons. He just has to maybe make some hard reads in the first turns. We see him leading with Great Tusk and Dragonite. And I think this is going to be a more favorable lead for Carlos this time.
Yeah, since he has the free Ice Spinner right now, and Earthquake is surely going to deal a lot of damage to both the Pokemons on the field for Taran. We might see, Trick Room coming out from the Ndidi and probably some damage, going to be spread out by Hatterene on turn 1 with Dazzling Gleam. Since both Pokemons on Carlos' side are weak to the Fairy type, and Great Tusk specifically is going to take a lot of damage since he's got a very low special defense stat. And I don't know if that Dragonite is Assault Vest, but I would expect the Glimora to be. So maybe that Dragonite is going to take a lot of damage as well. We have to see maybe if the Great Tusk protects as well, but no, he's choosing to go for Earthquake and straight up damage on turn 1. Okay, less than 50%.
It's good. Ice Spear goes into into Indeedee. This surprises me because had it went into Hatterene, it would have put it into Extreme Speed KO range.
Yeah, and we can see that the Dragonite is not carrying an Assault Vest, still carrying Multiscale as an ability, since this Dazzling Gleam would have dealt a lot more damage if it was Inner Focus. But weird choice, as you said, since now the Extreme Speed does not threaten any kill, and Dazzling Gleam of Hatterene just picks double KO, and you can switch the Torkoal pretty for free, I would say. The Dragonite has to Terra to not die.
Yeah, since Terrence just picks up the double KO with Hatterene, he can do as he pleases with his Indeedee, which right now he's pretty much dead weight, but he really has no reason to not switch out Indeed, as we see, Terran opted out of keeping Indeed on the field, sending in Torkoal, and covering up any sort of offense from Carlos' turn with just a simple Dazzling Gleam.
Yeah, and Torkoal comes on the field. Let's see if Dragonite went for the Terra. It would be very risky, since there will be maybe a risk of Dazzling Gleam from the Indeedee that will kill, and we see the Great Tusk switching out, probably keeping it for the end game. Dondozo coming in, and it's not going to take this Dazzling Gleam very well, actually. But yeah, a very nice read by Terran, bringing the Torkoal.
Yeah, because he acknowledges the fact that really is the only way for Carlos here to stall the Trick Room is to have Dondozo do Dondozo things, but
yeah.
If you send in Torkoal to pretty smog away everything, it becomes a lot less threatening. And so we're seeing Terran in a dominant position right now. 4 Pokemon still. A lot of Trick Room turns left. A Pokemon, an opposing Pokemon died. Another is down to its sash. Another one is still at 60%.
Yeah.
The position just seems very, very good for Terran. Carlos has to do some kind of miracle to pull this back, have to be the savior of the detective.
Yeah, I don't think a miracle is enough, actually. And Terran switches out the Octarine in order to conserve that 1 HP left and not waste it into this Protect that was likely to come out from Great Tusk. But Eruption here, even if Dondozo is Water type, this is going to deal a lot of damage. And that's okay, that's way more damage than I expected. And Earthquake comes out, is going to pick 2 super effective slots, but that's not going to deal a lot of damage since Dondozo has no boosts.
There's neither of Armarouge and Torkoal gets 3 KO'd by that, and by this time I think this is curtain call for Carlos.
Yeah, I think Mirai's win condition here is that Terran switch just randomly explodes, because I don't see how Terran loses this match. He probably can just click this tab for 2 or 3 turns in a row.
It happened last game.
Yeah, okay, yeah, it happened on on Carlos' side, but Dondozo here is going to get knocked out by any move, and Terran has the Terra type on his side still available, and Great Tusk does not get the double protect. Dondozo is going to... Okay, it's not going to protect. I expected it to come out, but that's not the case.
Eruption doesn't kill the Dondozo. Dondozo gets probably an attack off. No, it's even faster than Armor, so Expanding Force comes out. 3 Pokemons down for Carlos. Only Tatsugiri, I assume, is left.
Yeah,
and
probably.
This is gonna be the end of the tie for the puppies and the detectives.
Yeah, so let's see if that's the case. I don't think Tatsugiri can pull out a miracle here in front of 2 fire type Pokemons, but probably Expanding Force deals too much damage combined with the Eruption. Cannot even Terra type in front of these 2 mons. And let's see what Terran is going to choose for this last turn.
There's a Meta Water, there's a way, but there's no way if it actually has no... if Muddy Water doesn't come through. And either it ties, or it just gets Wild Guard to death. So Terran becomes the hero of puppies, giving them this very, very important win.
And we see the third arc. I think we had seen Terran clicking 2 fire type moves. Expanding Force. I thought I had seen Armor Cannon, but that's a lot of damage even without the Psychic Terrain on the field. Muddy Water misses on the Torkoal, and that's just negative damage on Armarouge. And here we might see a forfeit.
Armarouge leaves, so with the access to wildcard, this game is 100% wrapped up. Carlos knows it.
Yeah.
The forfeit is gonna come. Terran takes it on and
Yeah.
fires off the puppies in to the playoff race.
Yeah, and very impressive performance by Taran. I want to talk about that double trickery we have seen on game one once again, since it was very bold of him and very, very nice identified as a play that was probably 100% bringing the game home for him. So nice play. And as you said, with this win of Taran, Puppies take the week, and these standings are going to look very, very good for them since they get their second win of the season. They're currently 2 wins, 1 loss, and 3 ties, and they're going to jump to I think 16 points, and that's going to bring them
No, I
in.
think it's 14 points since they had at least a draw, so they had already 2 points counted.
Okay,
So they should
okay,
be at they should be sitting at 14 points, which puts them tied with the Symbionts
yeah,
on the first spot, which is massive for them.
yeah. So 4th spot for the Puppies, and that should be top 4 playoffs, right?
Yeah,
Okay, so they can afford to not afford, they can run for the playoff race, and we're going to see how the Puppies are going to play these next 3 weeks that are left for the tournament. And
yeah.
the next matches is going to be Polar Bear against Carmine, Stars against United. United and Stars are currently at 6. Stars at 7 and United at 6 place points. Sorry, not place. And what is the score for the week? Do you know it?
3-3.
Okay.
And as we said, both teams are feeding the bottom place of the standings right now.
Yeah.
8th and 9th place face off, and with just a 3 week left at this point, they have to win. It's vital for them to win. Probably even a draw leaves them 100% out of the playoff race. They both need this dub more than anyone else in this tournament right now. And let's see if will Carmine, who's been a solid player, like picking up a couple of wins for the United this tournament against Polar Bear, who has been the most outstanding player of the Stars and probably the whole tournament.
Yeah.
Since he was the number 1 ranked player in NPA coming on in this into this week. Right now, since Snow has won, he has been surpassed waiting for this match. Let's see if Giovanni manages to snag the win off of Carmine, take the first spot in the player ranking back, but also taking this massive win for Stars, since probably losing this game will put them out of the playoff race completely.
Yeah, and Polar Bear, as you said, is currently first to second in the battle scorer ranking, but more importantly, he's undefeated right now. He's 5-0 against Carmine, who is undefeated as well. He's 2-0. He has been playing only 2 weeks out of 5, and this is the sixth week and his 3rd match. So this is going to be interesting since we can see 2 very different players when it comes out to results. Polar Bear won the Zelda Challenge in 2019 post-Worlds, and recently got top 8 at San Diego, the regional that was won by Maluka, using the exact same team, if I recall correctly. And he won the NPA last season. So yeah, he's very solid as a player, while Carmine, he's an Italian player, so we know this guy and we know how he's been doing in tournaments. Unfortunately for him, the tournaments didn't go well in the long run, since Bochum had him go 5-0 to 5-4, and Utrecht had him go 4-0 to 4-5. So he still has to find his good form for these long run tournaments. But in the NPA and in the VCL, as we can see, another team tournament, he's been doing great. This is his third season in a row in Postwick United in the NPA, and in the second division of VCL, he went 10-2 personal score, winning the season with Team Aqua. And Players Cup, he got some results. I asked him to tell me some results to put in the graphics, since his sign up said I don't have notable results. I was like, okay, can you tell me a couple of them, please? And yeah, he's been playing a lot during the pandemic period of time, and we will see what he brought to this match. Since this is important, as you said, for both teams, since they have to win, and a tie will result in a very deadly situation for both teams. I hope that one of them can win, since the tie will result in the death of one of these.
Exactly. So whoever loses this game most likely loses any chance of going to playoff. No pressure though. Let's see if Giovanni manages to keep his dream of winning the NPA back-to-back alive, or will Carmine, probably the franchise player at this point for the past week, take this massive win to still give the Wolves hope.
We have a hope
going into the next week.
Both being the hope right now. We can see. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, we see another game, another round of Dondoso and Glimora. This time we're seeing paired up with Mousehold, Goldengo, and Rolling Moon. These are the same six. Santino piloted to number one spot in the battle spot in the previous week.
Yeah.
On the other hand, we'll see Giovanni using this team who actually got top 4 in Utrecht this weekend, piloted by Marco Fiero, also doing very well in online tournaments at the ends of Jubilee. Technically, this looks like a very good matchup for Giovanni, who takes a little bit of time to decide and then locks in Rolling Moon, Bando, Mimikyu, and Among Us. Kind of surprised to not see Garganacle.
Yeah, I was expecting the Garganacle to come into this game, since it's got a good matchup against Dondoso, in my opinion, and with the Salt Cure dealing 1/4 of damage each turn. But yeah, one thing I found very weird is that Polar Bear does not move the pad during the team preview. I just move it as I was going to as if I just took 4 coffees. But yeah, he's just stood still and chose calmly. And we can see Roaring Moon Iron Bundle against Roaring Moon and Glimora. If this is a rental team from Jubilee, this is going to be a very slow Roaring Moon.
Yeah, because we see the certainty going first for Carmine, and it's probably not going to be a speed tie, since Carmine gets the speed boost while Giovanni's gets an attack boost. So in this turn, Roaring Moon from Carmine's side is the fastest Pokemon in the field. It can probably set up Breaking Swipe if it has it, Tailwind to allow Glimora to be faster than the other Chumons from Giovanni on the field. We see also Anchor for Bundle, which is probably pretty massive against the Dondozo.
Yeah, I was going to point it
So
out.
yeah, we see the Tailwind and the Mortal Spin. So probably not the most offensive turn for
Yeah.
from Carmine, but it still manages to set up this huge poison on the two mons. While Freeze Dry and Acrobatics goes double onto the Running Moon, and Giovanni instead decides, yeah, whatever. You're free to poison me. I'm just taking a tail straight out on the first turn.
Yeah, so Carmine has a plan that consists in poisoning the opposing two mons and maybe taking a non-mortal spin, toxic debris on the opposing side to end the game with Dondozo, with the leftovers and the poison. We have seen very often this
Let's
technique.
see if it actually is Dondozo, because in this position,
And he
Goldingo
didn't bring
looks
Dondozo,
like
yeah. Or
he
maybe
didn't bring
we can
Dondozo.
expect.
And he didn't he bring Goldengo? Like, it looked like a very good position for Goldengo here. Instead,
Yeah.
he decides to go there with Muscled. Interesting choice, since like you would want to take advantage of the Tailwind. But
Yes.
right now, there isn't very much offensive pressure. Sure, you can probably double up with Super Fang and attack from Grimora, but it's probably not gonna be as oppressive as Carmine needs right now, especially with a Pokemon already gone.
Yeah, we can
Giovanni
expect
takes
maybe the
his
Tatsugiri
time.
in that. If Goldengo didn't come out right now, we maybe expecting the Tatsugiri to be the last slot chosen by Carmine. But here, very defensive turn by Polar Bear, going for Protect and Among Us coming on the field, probably taking a Power Gem. Yeah, it's going to tank this Power Gem, and ooh, okay, that's more damage than I expected. But the poison here dealing once again some damage to the Roaring Moon.
Let's see right now, because if probably most of the safety goggles. So if Grimora actually terrestrializes grass into the grass type, right now it can double up the Roaring Moon without fearing the Rage Powder. Probably Giovanni knows that and may take advantage of that by preserving the Roaring Moon and enter back on the field later to abuse the fact that Grimora is now grass type. Instead, he tops for the Rage Powder and an attack into Muscle.
So
probably he did not notice that. Let's see. We see the Terra Garage from Carmine.
And maybe Polar Bear just wanted to force this Terra out of Glimora, and that happens. So let's see if there is safety goggles on the Muzzled. We expect it to be, safety goggles.
Yeah.
So Super Fang and the double up is going to pick this KO on Roaring Moon.
100%. Roaring Moon has a lot of special defense, but so does Glimora in terms of offensive pressure. So Carmine finally manages to round up the Pokemon count.
Yeah,
and
the Mimikyu here.
It's probably in a better position right now.
Yeah, but the
Giovanni
Mimikyu is not threatened by the Muzzle.
The Mimikyu is not threatened by the Muzzle, but it doesn't threaten this much either. We see technically it has a kind of different set from Jude, since we knew that Jude has Shadow Claw instead of Protect. Probably Protect right now is better for Giovanni though.
Yeah, stole the last Tailwind turn. I believe, yeah, it is the last Tailwind turn. And we can see that Mimikyu has a Terra type Grass, and yeah, this is very curious. And let's see what Among Us is going to do. Okay, it's going to opt for Double Protect this turn.
Not
Double Protect, sorry.
Only Protect.
Yeah.
It just wants to avoid the Super Fang. Mortal Spin is likely to come out right now, since it both breaks the disguise from Mimikyu and poisons it.
Yeah.
We see that. So Mimikyu is taking actually a lot of damage since if Playoff actually connects this time between Life Orb, Life Orb, disguise damage, and Poison.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's already down to 55-ish%.
We have
And
seen
Glimora,
92.
Glimora is very safe right now on the field. Like it is well shielded by the muscled friend guard ability, and it does a lot of offensive pressure right now. Right now we see the Super Fang going onto Among Us, no doubt about that. It's not going to hit Mimikyu, while Mimikyu actually protects.
Yeah, and probably Polar Bear here expected a protect from the mouse hold, and that's why he protected Mimikyu. Maybe expecting the protect to stall a turn and have the friend guard on the field. So right now, Giovanni risks the KO on Among Us and probably will not be able to go for Pollen Puff, since maybe the Life Orb recoil damage plus Slash Bomb is going to pick the KO on Mimikyu. So yeah, Among Us leaves the field to pick a Regenerator turn, and the bundle comes out once again on Giovanni's side.
Yeah. Giovanni is probably forced to switch out the Among Us to preserve his itself, but right now Playoff goes into the Mouse Protect, so everything going bad for Giovanni right now. Sludge Bomb is coming out, KOs the Mimikyu, and as things stand, Giovanni is left with only 2 Pokemon, and probably only Bundle is able to do damages right now. So there's probably only this poisoned robotic penguin right now between Carmine and getting the first game in the set. We saw here Glimora putting a lot of work right now, because the poison was kind of annoying, but after that, the fact that it was able to ignore the Among Us and just deal this consistent damage without taking this much in return really proved difficult to deal with for Giovanni.
Yeah, and probably this Among Us being so, I would say, useless on the field since he got in on the field, will make Giovanni leave it at home for the next game, even if maybe a redirection would be very useful against the Dondozo, but the Organical probably will be more useful in this situation as well, not taking very much damage from the Glimora and putting the Sculpture on the opposing ones. And here we see a feint. Okay.
So there's also the Hydro Pump miss.
Yeah.
And let's see if Arjan actually.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Kills Iron Bundle, so everything going wrong with Giovanni, who since Hydro Pump missed, he even hasn't gotten to see Carmina's last Pokemon, which is pretty important, because you don't know if it's going to be Goldengo or Tatsugiri buffs, and equally likely to be brought.
Yeah, probably Goldengo, as you said.
Yeah,
should have been brought out before in the game if it wasn't back.
But Tatsugiri seems like a decent one as well. Either way, it's an information that Giovanni probably wanted to know going into the second game.
Yeah, and Giovanni takes the whole 45 seconds to think about a plan for game 2, and then he forfeits. So yeah, Carmine here very in control of the game throughout the entirety of game 1, I would say, with the Glimora and its Assault Vest. Surely going to be very bulky next to the Mouse Hold and Friend Guard, and being very annoying offensively, since with the Terragrass he made this Amogus very useless, and
Yeah,
special
completely
attack
useless.
very, very strong work here from the Glimora offensively.
Yeah, because we were pretty much worried about the fact that Glimora could be able to be annoying with Mortal Spin, Toxic Spikes, but Carmine said, you know what, I use Mortal Spin, right, but then I'll just, Glimora actually does damage, you know,
Yeah.
And the fact that it was very hard to knock out made it so that its damage kept going and going, and with this consistent platform damage, all paired up with the poison, it was very, very difficult for Giovanni to overcome, especially with its selection.
And we can see
So
that
we
Giovanni
see,
is already going
yeah,
to go for an adjustment, bringing
with
the Iron
top,
Hands in lead.
yeah,
And the Gargano.
and Gargan, and Garganok. So Giovanni completely switches up his game plan, switches up his lead, switches up two of his Pokemons, still keeps the Iron Bundle and Rolling Moon. Probably Iron Bundle is the good choice because he still wants to have another way to deal with those outside of the Garganacl.
Yeah.
I think it's a good choice. We saw Amungus and Mimikyu doing very little this game, not being able to threaten neither Moushold or Grimara, and we saw Harnance is definitely gonna be much better at dealing with the two Pokemons.
Yeah, we might be expecting maybe a longer game this time, since
Yeah,
the choice of Giovanni are very bulkier compared to the game one. Yeah, compared to the game one 4 slots he brought.
sure.
So Iron Hands and Garganacl being very, very bulky, we can expect a longer game. But there isn't a recovery option in the Among Us. The only recovery option is Recover on Garganacl. Let's see.
Which is only limited to itself.
Himself. Yeah. And
So
we can
you
see.
Carmina decides to repeat his lead.
Yeah.
Understandably so. He won pretty convincingly. There's no reason to switch it up. And Giovanni right now probably has to win this match. This is probably risking to be the Stars' last game in technically last game where it actually matters, where they still can get to the playoffs.
Mhm.
This Giovanni may feel the pressure right now. We see Atira right off the bat, which is pretty surprising, takes the fake out.
Yeah, and we saw that Giovanni went for a double up in that slot. I don't know if... Oh, okay, and we understand now why he went for the Terra. Yeah, Earthquake on the Roaring Moon, and double Toxic Spikes setup.
Yeah, and since we saw Throat Chop doesn't kill Glimora, this would have been a fine time to use acrobatics. Alas, it did not happen, so let's see how Giovanni fares a bit. I guess that since it doesn't have Among Us, it's not going to be able to remove the spikes.
Yeah.
Though this Terra means this Terra from Grimora means that Roaring Moon has no way of removing its fighting weakness. So we see the Mortal Spin poisoning both Pokemons, though Glimora is being KO'd in return, and Drain Punch is gonna do a lot of damage, actually a 1 KO, and a massive recovery for Iron Hands. This is very important because Carmine managed to poison both Pokemons and set up the spikes, but he still got 2 kills in return and also wasted his Terra.
Yeah, and we have seen Carmine with his lead setting up the 2 layers that are not going to affect the Garganical, since Purifying Salt avoids the Garganical to be affected by any status condition, and Mortal Spin setting the poison on the 2 mons on the field right now. But as you have said, we see a double knockout, so Muzzle and Goldengo are the only 2 slots remaining for Carmine.
Yeah, and in Muscle and Goldengo, Giovanni has to rejoice in the fact that he still has Irons pretty healthy, because he's going to be able to wall out pretty much Goldengo, and really Muscle isn't doing anything really. We see an attempt of using Protect and Nasty Plot, but Giovanni really reads into that. Muscle can only Super Fang. The only way of Carmine to get out of this situation is to set up a cheeky Nasty Plot. I'm not going to allow that. And we see a very, very important game 2 from Giovanni. Incredibly dominant game where he won 4-0 indeed, without switching his mons in 3 turns.
Yeah, and we have seen that Carmine here went for the misplay from his opponent, because in my opinion targeting the mouse hold would have been a misplay by Giovanni, and here we can see mouse hold left with Feint as only offensive move that can take a knockout, since Super Fang cannot do that, and Giovanni is stalling himself out here to probably think about what he's going to do, or what his opponent is going to do for the next game, and how he can adjust. Yeah, we can see a forfeit by Carmine. So 1-1.
Poor little Mousehold has no way of dealing with that much. With the match on the field from Giovanni, 1-1 is going to be going to a game 3, a nerf fucking game 3. This is very, very, very stressful for the 2 players, I feel like.
Yeah, and probably we're going to see an adjustment on Carmine's side, as I said. I'm not sure of what we are going to see, since he cannot change really his slots without changing the style of playing the game, since the Dondozo and the Tatsugiri are the last 2 slots that Carmine didn't bring during the first 2 games, and I'm not sure if he wants to bring those in game 3, since Garganical, Amoongus, and Iron Bundle, Iron Hands are all very strong.
The Iron Bundle looks very, very good into that, because it also blocks Dondozo from going for protects in front of like a fake out from Irons, which also looks like a pretty good Pokemon.
Yeah.
In this matchup, again, especially against Dondozo.
Yeah,
like as we said in team preview, this is probably a good matchup for Giovanni. In fact, I was surprised seeing Carmine win game 1 in such a dominant way. But just as dominant as he won, if he won game 1, he lost pretty much straight out of the bat. Giovanni thinks about it, says, yeah, this plan worked wonders in game 2. The first one didn't work so well. Let's just stick with this. Carmine probably picks his music in the same time Giovanni did. The last game of this live. Let's see how this nail biter of a match is going to end up.
Yeah, and we see lead switch.
Finally a switch from its usual game plan for Carmine. And seeing Mouse of Gamora makes me think, is he actually bringing those right now?
Yeah, I don't know. We're going to see. We're going to have to wait until maybe Giovanni takes a KO in this game to see if there is the Dondozo in the back. And fake out pressure here on turn 1 once again by Giovanni, and that fake out is going to set the Toxic Spikes on its own field if it's going to come out on the Glimora. But does he actually care? Let's see if fake out is even the choice for this turn. It is on Glimora. If Mousehold went for Super Fang on Roaring Moon, though, Glimora is going to threaten the kill, I think, on next turn. Since we have seen Roaring Moon going for... okay. We have seen the Dragon
I don't think that Moon is going to kill the summons after the Super Fang.
Okay, let's see. Dragon Dance boosting the Roaring Moon, and Super Fang misses.
Super Fang
okay,
misses. This is huge because
it was going to be onto the Roaring Moon.
Very bold. Yeah, it was very bold in not protecting Master this turn since it was it was very much threatened by both moons. It made the correct call in the fact that Giovanni was going to ignore Mosshold. Unfortunately, it doesn't get rewarded, and Super Fang misses. So Giovanni takes like Dragon Dance for free, or pretty much free. Like it only allowed the Toxic Spice to be set up, but with Garganacle in the back, is probably not gonna mind very much.
Yeah, and we see Roaring Moon going for a very defensive play on turn 2, scouting this Protect on Mousehold's side, and Iron Hands went for Drain Punch on Glimora. Glimora going for Mortal Spin and setting the poison on Iron Hands. Iron Hands is going to recover these 7 HPs, going for Drain Punch. Not a lot of damage, but yeah, that's thanks to Glimora's bulk and Friend Guard combined together. Second layer of Toxic Spikes going to be set on Giovanni's side, but here we have seen a good Protect by Roaring Moon scouting the Mousehold, and here there is probably a KO threatened by Giovanni on either side of Carmina's field.
Yeah, probably not Glimora, but still, Mousehold is very threatened right now, and Glimora, while pretty bulky, probably going to be able to stand an attack, is not going to do enough in return.
Yeah, we have seen a very offensive setup by Giovanni in this game, and it's going to be the Trot Chop. Okay, almost picking up the kill.
Doesn't get the kill. Super Fang though goes into Iron Hands, which is strange because the coverage is not going to kill.
Yeah, it doesn't. And Drain Punch.
Yeah, this is pretty strange. I feel like Carmine needed to damage the
Roaring
Moon.
Yeah, for sure. And maybe this is going to tell us that there is the Dondozo in the back, and Drain Punch with the poison the poison turn following that recovery leaves Iron Hands with 7 HP. But let's see if maybe Giovanni wants to get that Iron Hands in the back to have a fake out in one of the following turns. And yeah, there is Dondozo. That's what we expected, and now probably the Super Fang Earth Power on that slot makes sense, since Iron Hands is not very threatened by Dondozo, and the Roaring Moon being a +1 is going to be ignored by Unaware. The +1 boost in attack by Protosynthesis though is going to matter, since it's not a stat boost, it's an ability boost, and Unaware does not ignore that. Tatsugiri coming out instead of Glimora being on the field. Tatsugiri is going to boost the Dondozo, and we are maybe going to see a substitute. I don't know. Probably went for the offensive.
The substitute is probably the losing position, since we saw Voltage coming out of the Iron Hands. If substitute goes out, Iron Hands is just free to switch into Iron Bundles, which is gonna anchor the
you're right,
Dondozo and win the game.
And
so here we see um with the earthquake, which I think is pretty exploitable right now because Giovanni can either go for Anchor and Terra Flying with Rimon, or decide is not going to be killed with the earthquake, sending Garganacle, anchor the Dondozo into earthquake, and then just spam Wildgrab for the remainder of the game.
I think we are going to see the Iron Bundle coming on the field right now, and for
Yeah.
sure. And I think
It's not given because Garganacle is pretty good as well.
okay, and we see the
And
Garganacle.
yeah, we
Okay,
saw
I
that.
wasn't expecting this.
No Anchor fancy play. Giovanni just decides it's going to be far better off in just using Saltcure, probably terastallizing the Garganacle.
Yeah, so the White Guard here is going to put a lot of work, but I
I
wonder.
don't think White Guard is going to come out right now.
Okay, okay, you see, okay, you
Yeah,
are saying yeah, a Terra type Ghost we can see on the Golden Go, and yeah, so the Terra type is going to tell us that the Salt Cure is going to be the option probably chosen, yeah, by Giovanni, and he's going to put this dot on Dondozo's head. Dondozo, I think this is his Terra, and no, okay, that's
no, this is
Garganacle.
Garganacle Terra, so there's no Terra coming off of Carmina. Garganacle Terra's away its weaknesses. Perch up does quite negligible damage,
Yeah,
but it will add up in the following turns, and Will Crush actually goes into Rolling Moon, which
yeah,
means this Sulker is gonna be unprompted. Actually, there's gonna be a free Sulker because Garganacle is full health, and right now this is probably Curtain's Call. Um,
yes, since
Giovanni
Dondozo
at
cannot
this
switch
point
out.
just has to stall out the game, and as we see the protect from
Roaring Moon.
Fairy Moon. Let's see if Garganacle follows up.
I think maybe a Wave Crash on Garganacle would favor Giovanni
Yeah,
right now
it
for
wouldn't
his
have
recoil.
killed it either way. Yeah, it wouldn't have killed either way, but
Yeah, chooses to
it
protect.
still would have forced Garganacle to press recover in the following turns, or maybe just accept that Garganacle is gonna die and trade Dondozo for Garganacle. Either way, I think it was the best trade-off. And with the Wave Crush onto Rimon, this is just becoming more and more difficult for Carmine to deal with that. Wave Crush comes in onto Dondozo, into Rimon, crashes into the Protect. Another round of Sulker doing incredible damages
Yeah, and
to
I'm thinking about if
um,
that Super Fang hit on turn 1, what would be seen right now in this turn? The Roaring
yeah,
Moon would be down.
Rimon will be down, yeah. But still, I think Garganacle plus Iron Bundle still had pretty much the upper hand in this game. Let's see.
Yeah.
Um, I think Giovanni doesn't want to do any more damage to those right now it it means that Dondozo will die, so Tatsukiri wouldn't be able to be Sulcured. Instead, it does that. It predicts the Wave Crash to kill itself before the Garganacle attack.
Yeah, and we can see the Terra Grass, and that's why probably it
Terra
didn't
Grass
go
right
for it.
now, yeah, I think it's too late right now. The Terra Grass, yeah, we see it's
Earthquake,
not
okay.
going to put Dondozo out of the Sacred Radio range. And it's
Yeah,
actually
and
going to be not knocked out by this missile Valkyrie,
yeah, the
but the
damage.
dot will take care of Dondozo, which makes it ex 100% wasted Terra from Carmina. Dondozo is down, and
Yeah, and friendly reminder,
probably
this Roaring Moon just set up a Dragon Dance on turn
yeah,
1, so it's faster than
still
Tatsugiri.
has a Dragon Dance. Yeah. No, technically, if it's very slow, Rorimon can still be slower. But still,
Okay, yeah.
things are becoming more and more difficult for Carmine for the past week.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Probably will matter if we're going to see an Hydro Pump miss in the next turns. If the Tatsugiri is faster, they're going to be...
It's just probably going to be a double protect right now.
Yeah,
Just to
Scout.
see what move the Tatsugiri locks itself into.
Yeah, double protect and a turn of leftovers recovery for the Garganical. Super safe and correct play by Giovanni.
Yeah. Let's remember that Garganacle can easily shrug off buff attacks at least once. We see the Muddy Water come out, and this probably locks the game because we know Garganacle has Wide Guard, and pretty similarly to Talon versus Carlos, we see Tatsugiri and also Glimora lose. Lose, yeah, not really to Wide Guard, just Wide Guard locking out the game.
Yeah, and
no,
it was an
doesn't
armor.
do that.
No Wide Guard.
It doesn't Wide Guard. Just says I'm faster. Yeah, whatever, I'm faster and just killing it.
Yeah, okay, probably knows, and he knows that the Iron Bundle here is not going to take damage from that Tatsugiri, and maybe he knows that Tatsugiri is Sash, or no, okay.
Faster than Tatsugiri.
Faster, Tatsugiri is going to get knocked out, and yeah, quite surely Giovanni brings himself to a 6-0 personal score in this NPA season. Wow. Yeah.
Massive win for Giovanni, which takes back the first spot in the player ranking, but most of all, wins this incredibly important match. Keeps the Stars' hopes alive, and passes the torch to, I think,
Certain Light.
Certain Light against Pengi to win the week for the Stars. For fourth week, this is probably they probably seen the writing on the wall. They probably eliminated from the playoff contention.
Yeah, maybe
lost. Let's see, but they still have they still can get a revenge on their on the team that knocked them out. They just probably winning the last match, tying up the score, and probably knock the Stars out as well.
Yeah, it would be a Destiny Bones move by United.
Precisely.
If their last player wins the match, that would be Certain Light against... Okay, Pengi. If Pengi wins the match, both teams are going to be knocked out from the playoff race. And let's see. And I'm not sure if that match has been played already. Maybe Polar Bear in chat can tell us. Maybe it hasn't been reported.
I think it's gonna be played. Like technically, it was played 15 minutes ago.
Okay.
Onto the Discord.
Okay, so we can maybe update right now live the score of these two teams. Let's see. Pengi against Certain Light. Okay, no, I cannot see the link. I don't know where you found it. You found it in replays?
No, it's on the When Games
When Games
Discord section.
Okay. So it should be happening soon. Okay. So we are not being live for that long to see if Stars can take the win or if United are going to take the tie and bring Stars down with them with them in this season. Since last reminder, with this result by Polar Bear, United just locked themselves out of playoff race probably,
No,
And
like technically they're not locked out, but they technically not,
very
but
unlikely.
really, really, not really. This is a wrap for them.
Okay, and with a tie, they're going to, they would probably avoid Stars to be in playoffs race as much as the other teams. So yeah, let's see. Let's stay updated on the NPA Discord. And yeah, today we have seen some very interesting matches. The Aurora Equalizer match with the double trick room is still in my mind. I cannot get rid of it. So yeah, very nice play from Aurora Equalizer in the game 1. While in this game we have seen Giovanni going for a probably wrong plan in game 1 and then clearing his mind and changing plan for game 2 and game 3 and bringing it home for the Stars. So very good play and very well played to Giovanni. For today, it's probably enough. So thank you guys for watching this stream of NPA Week 6. Next week is going to be the first week where I think Regulation C or Series 3 is going to be the main format. So we're going to see a very different format next week. I'm not that informed, so I'll have to catch up to bring some nice casting and not be a random here watching the match.
Let's hope we'll get to see Meluka against Snow streaming this week, since the Samurais versus is happening. Probably the most hyped match in
the whole league.
Literally seasons of NPA.
Yeah.
Meluka against Snow is gonna be one hell of a match, and we hope he's going to be able to be casted here.
Yeah, we're going to see what we can do if we can get that match on stream. But for now, thank you very much for following the stream, and see you next time, next Monday, same time, probably. Yeah, it's probably going to be same time next Monday. And good luck to everyone playing the regional in North America this weekend, if anyone in the chat is going to play that one tournament. And see you next week. Thank you.
Bye.